Welcome back to Icons of the Dragon Ball community, where I interview very important people in our community who have contributed positively to Dragon Ball, whether it be production, whether it be voice acting, whether it be editing, whether it be content creation, whether it be blogging. There's like 150,000 different things that you can contribute positively to. Maybe not that many, but there's a lot. And I picked the biggest and brightest to talk to and kind of get to know. So joining me on this edition of Icons, please welcome a man who needs no introduction. He's already been on my channel before, but this time we're going to go really in depth about his love of Dragon Ball. And you have to love Dragon Ball to be the centerpiece of Dragon Ball, which this man is, for Team 4 Star's Dragon Ball Z Abridged and some other projects they work on as well. Please welcome the voice of Son Goku, also the CEO, I guess you can call it, of the Masako X YouTube channel, Bad Fan Fiction Theater. There's just so much good stuff there. Please welcome Lawrence, aka Masako X. What's up?
Hey, Geekdom, how's it going? It's doing all right, actually.
Good. I'm so happy to talk to you. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, dude. I'm serious. I'm not even kidding.
Oh.
Yeah. So let's talk about you, man. So, obviously, you're a very important part of the community. I know a lot of people love your work. They do, and it's something to be proud of. It really is. People tell me, and I see people tell you all the time, and a lot of us, that they love what we do, and they love you guys and what you do, both on your individual channel and Team 4 Star, as well as the other projects you work on. And it really, like, I don't know about you, but I feel like it really makes me appreciate them, and it also makes me happy that some of these kids, and some of these grown-ups can come home from school, from work, put on a TFS DBZ Abridged video or something, and just forget about their problems. Like, that to me is like the most important thing, man. It really means a lot to me, and I don't know about you, but I presume it does.
Oh, yeah, I mean, the thing about this is that I think one quote that made it hit home for me was when one person came up to us and said, "Thanks to you, I was able to get through medical school. And medical school is notoriously hard."
Well,
So
was
if we
he
could
like
help...
was he like cutting surgery on somebody while watching TFS? Is that what happened?
She actually.
Oh, she. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, no, it's just like, but there'd be long days of studying, and obviously you're completely worn out, so you need a bit of a chuckle. So DBZA was there to be that support. So that's when you kind of think, wow. And we got that. She told us that like in 2010, so this was like relatively early on. So that's when you just think, wow, maybe we are actually making a difference.
Well, have you? It's mind-boggling to me, man. I wanted to get your thoughts on this. Then we're gonna go back. Back in I got into Dragon Ball in the mid '90s with the old. The old guard. But, I've had people tell me, oh, well, I got into Dragon Ball Z playing Budokai 1. I'm like, wow, like, the video game got you into it? Like, that's cool. And then I hear some really young kids say, oh, I got into it because of Xenoverse. I went to my friend's house, he had the game, and oh, it's a TV show? And then you hear people say, like, for example, Mozilla Vulpix, she says, I got into Dragon Ball because of Dragon Ball Z Abridged. And that's so weird to me, Masako, man, because that's like somebody saying, and it does happen, I got into Michael Jackson because of Weird Al Yankovic. Like, that's kind of the comparison I make. Like, it's like a reverse fandom introduction thing, because you guys are doing a parody, but you're like a gateway drug to some people. So what do you think about that?
Say what? That's just like that. Seriously, the one thing that we want to hear from most people is when people say, "Oh, because of your show, I got back into watching the original show," because we want to, as we always say at the beginning of the episode, please support the official release. That's all we want to do. We just want to encourage people to keep the thing alive. And it's mind-boggling whenever we hear people saying, "Oh, you're the reason why I got back into Dragon Ball." And the reason why was just so... because we don't want to just make fun of it. We love the show. No doubt about that. So what we want to do is make... like, this is almost like our salute to Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
As in, we throw in references that people don't get, but the hardcore do, and that shows that we've done our homework. Kaiser Neko is probably one of the most learned people about Dragon Ball that I know. So it's just whenever I'm making my fact videos, I'm always either looking to Julian, Mike, or Scott. So
the Jedi Council, right?
If I basically get told off by either one of the three, then I'm thinking I need to improve. So, but if I get their blessing, then I'm thinking, okay, I did a good job.
Agreed.
But that's what they are. They know their stuff.
Absolutely. No, hey, Kaiser Neko and I had this like 3-hour conversation once about the timelines in Dragon Ball, and it was so like, oh, like I loved it because it's so hard to find a fan who's so into it that they can rattle off all these things like nothing. And what I love about Abridged is that you guys have different layers of jokes. Like, there's all kinds of different fans who watch Abridged, including, fans who have only seen the dub, fans who have only seen Kai, fans who have only played the games, people who don't even aren't really super duper hardcore, and they get some of the jokes. But then you've got like the more deeper jokes that are like jokes from, a decade and a half ago, like Big Green. Like I remember I did a video talking about the Big Green dub, and I had people commenting saying, oh, so that's what Team 4 Star was talking about. And me being the older guy, I'm like, yeah, didn't you know that? And then it hit me like, no, like some of these jokes are intended for the super duper hardcore. And
it's
some
like in
are
episode
not.
53 with Cell says, already by your age, Goku had already defeated an entire army, fought several demons, and sent a rabbit to the moon. Did you make that last one up? And no, it's like, if you watch Dragon Ball, then you'd know.
And it's funny because a lot of the jokes are also like they're almost like tongue-in-cheek satires of the community.
Well, I can assure you, when we get to Broly, that statement is going to hit home hard.
You got me excited, bro. So, okay, let's go back. Let's go back to young Masako X, before you were even called Masako X. Lawrence, were you born and raised in the UK? Is that
yes.
accurate? Okay. How did you...
1986.
That's when you were born?
Yeah, 30. I'm the same age as Dragon Ball, almost. Or at least the TV version.
You grew up on... obviously you were a different country than I was, but you still grew up on similar things to me. And I wanted to kind of ask you, because you mentioned this before, you saw Dragon Ball Z with some weird... You saw one dub, then the other dub, and the other dub. But I wanted to ask you, what is your earliest memory that you have of discovering this show?
Okay, that's a good question. Dragon Ball didn't come out in the UK, as far as I know, like not hardcore, until about the year 2000.
Yes.
We didn't get it on Cartoon Network until March of that year. And when they put out adverts for it, it was a very interesting thing. I'd seen nothing like it. I mean, obviously, I'd have had all the Transformers, Thundercats, loads of 80s stuff, He-Man, all that kind of thing. And
Transformers?
Yeah, Transformers, yeah.
Yeah.
I came in on the tail end of it when it kind of was on the wane a little bit in the 90s. But Thundercats, I was all about that when I was a kid. Power Rangers, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah. Then 2000 came along, and Dragon Ball Z came on our TV, and it was like, I gotta watch this. So, to begin with, the first 53 episodes was the Ian Collier Ocean dub.
The censored Ocean dub, the original, yeah.
Yeah, with the, guess what, Kakarot? I'm having you for lunch.
Keep your eye on the birdie.
Yeah. Now he's really getting huge.
I love it, bro.
Oh
I have such a soft spot. I have such a soft spot for those guys, man.
Look, I can see their parachutes. They're okay.
What was the line from Tien? The three-eyed cowboy's going for one last ride in the saddle, or something like that.
And then, oh my God, they blew up the cargo robot.
No. What about when he gets his arm cut off? You just wait till it grows back. And, dude, what killed me about that is like, wait a minute. So, okay, you're censoring it for kids, But that's not good, because what you're telling children is, hey, Tommy and Gina, if you stick your arm in the grinder and you end up sawing it off, don't worry, because humans can regrow limbs, so you'll be okay. That's the way I saw it.
I dig the Bon Jovi reference.
I did not think you were going to pick up on that, but then I got to remember you're an 80s baby, bro.
No, but I'm going to say, no, the reason why is because one of the first DBZ AMVs I ever saw was a History of Trunks AMV of
It's My Life.
You know that one.
And you saw it in RM in like what? Like
Oh, Real Player.
Real player in like 2001. I saw it,
Yeah,
bro. I might still have it.
And then the original Fatboy Slim Right Here, Right Now. That was a good one.
Dude, did you see? And don't forget the 50,000 Linkin Park ones. Don't forget that one, bro.
Oh, I made some.
Me too.
Yeah, I made one from a Blur AMV of like the movie 6. Yeah, I think so.
And
in any case, I got sidetracked. But 2000 came out. So fortunately, we didn't have to wait for after the Ginyu Force showed up. We just went straight into the Funimation dub.
Really? So you went week. So you're telling me you had a week of Peter and then a week of Sean, just like that?
It just went. Yeah, it just went straight from because from March of that year we had Raditz, and then by September of that year we had the episode Pathos on Frieza.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, it was we didn't have to wait. So we didn't have the rigmarole of having to wait like years for more English Dragon Ball Z. And obviously it took us a while for it to be dubbed, but then eventually we got then it got weird because then we got the Ocean dub of Dragon Ball
Z.
No, but there's a sick guitar reference, a riff in that. Yeah, it's just like that. There's some really cool bits in there, and it's like version has its moments. But yeah, we kind of went into a period of every 20 episodes it would switch from Funimation back to Ocean and then back again.
That's very strange because that's not how it was in America. That's weird, man.
Yeah, but then it started to really surge on because we got GT pretty quick after that and Dragon Ball at the same time. So sometimes we get a triple bill of Dragon Ball, Z, then GT.
And they were all new episodes to you guys. Right?
Yes.
Damn, dude, that's a trip. So
we got GT roughly at the same time as you guys.
Did you guys in the UK, I've never asked this question to somebody in the UK, and I should have, did you guys have, the same VHS tape releases that we had over there, or were they different?
I don't think we ever got VHS releases. I don't think we ever did.
Yeah.
I think the first time we ever got it, as far as I know, was the orange boxes.
Yeah, which was way later.
But then, having said that, that'd be crazy if we didn't get that. No, I mean, but the one as far as I know, it was the digitally remastered orange box.
Yeah, with the way it was meant to be seen. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what was it about Dragon Ball? Because I guess it's because you had already mentioned what you were into before the superhero stuff. Is that kind of why Dragon Ball was so easy for you to just get into?
Yeah, I would say so. That, I was about 13 at the time, and it was like, it appealed to my young masculine mind. So it was appealing, and I was just getting into anime at that point. I discovered Sailor Moon, and it was like, why do I feel strange? Like, I feel something feels odd. But it was at the time in the UK when anime really was quite underground. And my brother got me introduced with it with he went really hard, like hardcore in terms of anime picks. He got me Dominion Tank Police, Project Echo, Appleseed, Ghost in the Shell.
This is all the manga entertainment releases.
Legends of the Overfiend.
This is the manga entertainment releases right here, man. Like
manga entertainment, and then he capped it off with Urotsuki Doji. When I was 12.
Dude, you're taking me back, man. I never knew that the UK. I know that manga entertainment is still out there, but
Manga
Never-
Entertainment's going strong, man.
Yeah.
They're basically that they are the guys who licensed Dragon Ball here.
And it's crazy because I remember when I was a kid and I was one of the when I was younger and I hated that original censored dub. I remember thinking, if Manga Entertainment dubbed Dragon Ball like they did Street Fighter 2 V and the shows that you just named, Ghost in the Shell, those films, Appleseed, I was like, man, we would have already had the whole series done. But that's just not how it worked because it's not that easy.
Oh
That's
no,
crazy.
seriously, like the 90s anime I really like. I mean, like Outlaw Star, the Desco is my favorite, like really, really my favorite. And like, but all the 90s anime is just so iconic. Now and then, just recently, they've added Cowboy Bebop to Netflix. I'm like, hey.
And it's interesting too because back then, and I want to ask you this how it was for you guys. Anime was kind of like this thing, Japanimation. It wasn't. The boom happened with Pokemon, Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball, but a little bit before that, it was like this underground cult. Like, okay, you've got American cartoons, right? Like your Looney Tunes and your Flintstones and all that stuff, and then you've got this Japanese animation which is mature and they have profanity and blood and sex and all these things that. So it was like this thing. Like when you're a teenager, you're like, yeah, keep watching your kiddie cartoons. I'm gonna watch anime where they have sex and kill each other. That's
Well,
like how it came off.
Well, the reason why I reckon is because the anime dubs that did come out were of the seinen genre. Seinen is a genre in anime which is not like shonen. It's like for older men, older teenagers, young adults. So it's meant to be more like things like you got your Berserk. So because I think most people can rattle off all the series. They're usually quite the more violent ones, the darker ones. Like, all those ones. They always just,
Ninja Scroll, classic movie.
Yes, exactly. All those series that are quite violent and hardcore, they're usually the ones that came out in the 90s.
It's just funny, because, I remember showing these tapes to my friends, and there's that scene where, the rock guy rapes the girl, and they were just like, what the hell are we watching? This can't be a cartoon.
I don't care. This is so new. That's the thing. You just get that's the thing. Because in the UK, not that long ago in the 90s, because in 1984, I studied film studies, and we had the Video Nasties Bill. And that's pretty much because there'd been a huge influx of VHS tapes of really violent material. And it had to change of categorizing and loads of censored stuff. And loads of anime came out. Luckily, it didn't get banned. There's only been ever one anime film that got banned in the UK, and I want to say what
completely
what
banned,
was.
you couldn't sell it at all.
Yeah. And I should know this because it's got one of my favorite voice actresses.
Was it Perfect Blue?
No, it wasn't Perfect Blue, I think, because Perfect Blue came out in 1996. This one came out in 1992.
Ooh, okay, it could be anything because I'm more familiar with the later 90s stuff, so that could be anything. 92.
Oh, okay. I stand corrected. There was another one called Spy of Darkness in 2003. That was an anime that got banned.
So why did it get banned? Was it overly sexual,
overly sexual and overly violent?
But I mean, was all hentai banned or just?
That's it. I know what it was. La Blue Girl.
La Blue Girl. Okay, I remember
Blue Girl
that
got
now.
banned. Yeah, La Blue Girl got banned, and I remembered it because it had my favorite voice actress, Omi Minami. She was in it, and then I looked it up, and then I looked up the thing. Did you know that this was one of the only anime in the that got banned in the United Kingdom? And it's like, oh, and then I read up on it. It was like, oh, no wonder. Okay, never mind.
If you're under the age of 18, do not Google that right now. All right, which means they're gonna go Google it.
Yeah, no, that's the psychology these days. If you tell someone not to do it, they're gonna do it.
So I'm a bad influence by accident. So, all right, now
Waka.
what did you want to do You know, because is voice acting right now, is that your primary gig, or do you have other stuff that you do on the side? Like, what is, like, how do you earn money, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, it's simple really. I earn my keep from being an editor. I am an editor, much like my grandfather.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's how I earn my money and my internet dollar.
Pay the rent and
So,
gimmicks in the mail called bills.
and
Right?
we're not talking about the god of destruction, as
Oh
most people
God.
might want to say.
Oh God.
But no, the reason why so I am an editor first and foremost. Voice acting is a fun little hobby, and it's nice voicing and stuff, and I'd love to do more of it. But let's be honest, for people that want to get into voice acting, it's not going to pay the bills. It'll help, but you need a full-time career, and unless you're one of the 4 or 5 people in California that does movie trailers every single day, you need to have a second job.
Yeah, I mean, from everybody I've talked to, it seems like the the best thing to do, because voice actors have multiple gigs. Like, they have lots of different shows they work on, because there's no one show that can pay for everything. That's everything I've learned. But I remember Brian Drummond mentioned that the real good money is if you don't do anime, if you do like American cartoons, that those pay even better, Canadian cartoons, because you're doing the original voice. But I can imagine, yeah, I think people think that voice actors make like 6 figures a year, and they live like,
Nope.
like, I've
Nope.
heard otherwise. I've heard it is a struggle, yeah.
The anime pays not that great because it's $50 an hour.
Which
That may
seems,
sound like a lot, but
yeah.
you're only in for a couple of hours a week, so it's it's pocket money really, unless you're a main character and come in for like weeks at a time.
That's what I'm saying. You'd have to be a big shot, and there's not a lot of those. Maybe you get a gig at Disney. So as far as editing goes, you mentioned that your grandfather was an editor.
Yes.
Was he a famous editor? I didn't even know this.
No, he sadly he wasn't. He was well known and respected in the editing community in UK around in the 40s and 50s, but he mainly did kind of B-movie horror films
I
and
love B-movie
thrillers.
horror.
And I think one of his most well-known gigs was a 1946 film called Curse of the Raidens, and that's the most well-known. I've yet to find a copy of it, and I'd
Wow.
love to watch it just to know that this is my grandfather who made it.
So is he the reason that you got into editing?
Yes.
Or okay, he is. Okay, so was your goal as a kid, obviously you probably changed your mind about 10 times, but did you always want to be an editor?
Well, I probably wasn't until the age of 14 maybe that I kind of realized what I wanted to do, and that was be getting into editing. And that's when I studied it in college, I studied it in university, and doing all these abridged series was a great example of trial and error.
Now, because you're relatively close to my age, it's one of those things where I was going to ask you, when you took the editing courses, because this is back in the day. Like, now, obviously the courses are very different, but did you actually use equipment, or did you use like Adobe Premiere, like the old version? Because I know I edited first. First time I ever edited anything was on actual equipment in my video productions class in 1998 or whatever, whenever high school was for me. I edited a DMX Dragon Ball Z video, of course, with because the biggest song back then was Rough Riders Anthem. Shut them down, open up shop, and of course the part where he says, you haven't met the apes. I cleverly put in the Ozaru picture, the Ozaru clip, because that's what we did back then. But but then afterward, you get a computer and you learn Premiere. And the thing is, back in those days, Premiere was not, and computers didn't have quad core processors or 8 cores. So you'd work on a project and you'd keep the thing on overnight sometimes, for it to render. It'd be like 6-7 hours for this thing to render. So I just wanted to ask you, if you used actual equipment, or was it like Final Cut, or like how did that go?
The very first dabbling was on Final Cut, and my father actually dabbled in a little bit of editing too, and he purchased a very high-end Final Cut Pro 1.0 edit suite, and that's how I made the videos at first.
Like
I
that's
was
the
lucky
movie
to have,
quality
like,
stuff.
Yeah, the Power Mac G3, like a high-end one of those, with 2 monitors, a viewfinder monitor, a tape deck. Yeah, the full 9 yards really. And yeah, I had all that, and I was editing DBZ AMVs to Men in Black.
The
Yeah,
song Men in Black?
yeah, the Men in Black because they're because they're Saiyans, they have black hair, therefore the Men in Black. Yeah,
That's
so yeah, that
we
was
were
like
wacky back then.
yeah, that weird times. But yeah, that's how I first dabbled in editing because I had the equipment, and then I moved on to Premiere. Then at university we had Final Cut and Avid. Hate Avid.
Avid, that's the other big one.
I hate Avid. It's complete. I don't usually use the word hate for things, but Avid is garbage. It's clunky. It's slow. It's intentionally slow because that means people can work on things for longer and therefore get paid more dollar. That's how it works.
But
And
Avid's
yeah.
what edited Force Awakens.
Yeah, it is. It's gotten better over time, but I was burnt badly. And it didn't help that my university was an Avid sponsored college. So they had the machines there. I hated that program so much. And so I went to Final Cut for years. And I moved to Premiere full time maybe about 2 years ago because Final Cut just dropped the ball. And
Yes.
it was like it was falling backwards, and now I'm full solid Premiere.
Did you want to edit, like when you first got into editing, was your goal to edit like a big budget movie, to do like a horror movie like your grandfather? Like what was your, obviously before Abridged and all these stuff you've been doing lately, what was kind of your original intentions to be an editor? Did you want to do movies, documentary films? I was just curious about what you wanted to do.
I just wanted to edit random shit. Really? Just like little short films. Didn't matter what it was. I dabbled in making movies with my plushies, and then just random like thrillers, even though we're all 14, 15. The usual the desire to make student films of running down corridors with guns and with mob gangsters, because that's what all 17, 18-year-olds want to make are movies about gangsters. That means they get to have toy guns and dress up in suits and yada yada yada.
Dude, do you remember like the Jackass, like Bam Margera explosion of like 2000, where everybody wanted to like hurt themselves on camera? Like that was another big one back then, bro. Like kids now.
Oh yeah, like danger videos. Yeah. Nowadays it's the prank videos, and it's just like I hate prank videos.
I don't like them that much either, especially if someone's hurt. If it's like a little stupid, like something that's harmless, whatever. But yeah, I do agree with you. So it's just funny, you're taking me back. So you learned Final Cut, and you did Avid, didn't like it so much. Your name, your online name, Masako X, obviously an homage to Masako Nozawa, the legendary original voice of Goku in the Japanese dub. Can you tell us about when and how you discovered the Japanese version of Dragon Ball?
Okay, I discovered that dub when my brother found copies of the movies, and the first movie I watched was Revenge of Cooler, movie 5, and that's when I first
also the first one I watched. That's creepy.
That's the first one I watched in its entirety.
Yeah.
Then I did hear clips, like uncut clips of like Trunks blowing Frieza up, and then just like little odd clips here and there, whatever my internet bandwidth could actually take. And then I heard Nozawa's Goku, and at first I was weirded out by it, but then eventually I just thought, you know what, I dig it. I dig it a lot. Like her power, her energy, her delivery, it all makes sense because Goku is always a big kid. So why change the voice? It's like why Naruto's voice is played by the same actress, even though now at the end with Boruto he's like in his late 20s. So, they kept the voice because that voice is iconic. Masako Nozawa is the Son family.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And it's interesting because you yourself now being such a huge fan, I see it all the time in the community. people say I can't stand Japanese Goku's voice, which it does bother me. I'm not gonna lie. You have a right to your opinion, but I honestly feel this way. If you sit there and you watch Dragon Ball in Japanese from start to finish, Dragon Ball and then Dragon Ball Z, and you watch it straight through, it's almost impossible to not get used to her voice, because it just happens. Like, your brain adjusts. I'm not saying you have to like her more than Schemmel or Calamus or even you. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it becomes more like that's Goku, because you see her portray Goku as a kid, as a teenager, as a grown man, and as a grandfather at the end of the series. So you're seeing, you get used to it. Even if you don't love it, and I do love it, but you get used to it. And I feel like, maybe I'm being stupid here, but I feel like every person who ever says something about Goku's Japanese voice has never really experienced it all. Because I just feel like as people, we just get used to it.
And especially her portrayal of Goku Black. Like, wow. Okay, well, that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, she twisted it. She twisted it.
Must have been so refreshing for her, I'm not going to lie.
Did you rewatch the entire series in Japanese once you kind of got used to her voice? Like, was it one of those things where you're like, okay, I got to watch the real thing here?
Yeah, I mean, I whenever I watched the movies, I watched all the movies. The first time I saw it in Japanese with subtitles. Yeah, because I remember how much I loved Fusion Reborn. That's my favorite film. That's my favorite movie, Dragon Ball movie, and that probably just tipped it over the edge of like, yo, this is so great.
Gogeta was so beloved back then. Still is. He still is.
The music. Da, 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 da. It's just like, the music's just so cool. Not to mention Pycon is, even though he's a filler character, he's still awesome.
And you know what? Much respect to Nathan Johnson, because I do love the Japanese music for that scene, but I really, really like the dub music that Nathan Johnson produced. That I thought it was really well done. I think Nathan Johnson's best score he's ever produced was the Gogeta theme, without question. But that movie was so legendary for us, because if you didn't see that movie and you went on the internet, you saw pictures of Gogeta, right? And you're like, whoa, like, this is Goku and Vegeta combined into one person. Like, it's such a crazy, like, fan fiction-y, like, dream for a Dragon Ball fan. Then you finally see him in action when he throws those fast, Floyd Mayweather lefts and rights to freaking Janemba. And it's just what a great, I wish he would have beat him up more, but it's just a great scene overall.
Well, I think they just wanted to kind of like make the point that, this guy is so intimidating that he doesn't need to do anything. Like, he just pounds the ever-living crap out of Janemba, then does the Stardust Breaker, and that attack eats the enemy from the inside.
Yeah,
that is pretty cool.
I really do wish we could have seen more of Gogeta. I mean, we saw him in GT. People want him to come back in Super 2. It's just one of those things where, I wish we did, but
I still want my theory of a 3-way fusion to happen.
Ah, yes. Yeah,
I want that. I want that. Dragon Ball fusions have made it possible that 5-way fusions are possible.
I've mentioned that, and people, I can't stand when somebody, like the other day, somebody was like, you stole this video idea from Masako X. I'm like, no, we talked about it the day before. I don't steal anybody's ideas. It's like, we just happen to have a similar idea of what to talk about. Like, remember the week that Whis was revealed as an angel? Like, 7 YouTubers did a video about Whis being revealed as an angel, and somebody was complaining, and I'm like, dude, that's the news of the week. Like, you can't blame them for covering it. That's like...
Yeah, because people, for 3 years, people are going like, well, what is Whis? It's like, what is he? And it's like, oh, angels and demons. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay, I dig it.
Yeah, at least we have a title to him now.
Yeah.
So
at least you figure out what he is.
Exactly. It doesn't change too much, but he's still badass no matter what. So you went to college, you graduated as an editor. The next phase of your life, were you kind of doing gig? I'm talking about the pre-Team 4 Star stuff. I'm getting to that in a minute. Were you kind of just doing gig to gig, random like editing jobs for different people? Like, how did that go during that phase of your life?
Well, I was just at university and college, really, so I was just doing nothing, to be honest. And then, probably like the summer of 2005, I came across uh, uh, a series called Bonus Stage. It was done by the animator Matt Wilson, and his series High Score Bonus Stage. Really cool flash animation, and I really dug it, and I fell in love with it. And then one of the characters' voices got changed to a girl who went by the name of Kagome Higurashi at the time, and who is now Kira Buckland. And yeah, so back then she was popular for doing impersonations of Excel from Excel Saga, and she was really good at it. And I just thought, wow, she's really cool. So I messaged her saying, oh, I want to get into voice acting. I sent her samples, which I thankfully lost to the midst of time. And she pointed me towards the Voice Acting Alliance. And I went from there. I auditioned for things, just for random fan dubs, got in some of those, and it just went from there, really.
So you just wanted to be a voice actor just like for fun? Like, I have a cool voice, I'm British, fuck it, I'm gonna do it? That's pretty much how it was?
Funny you should say that. Funny you should say that. But because I just wanted, I didn't know, I didn't think that there'd be a place where I could do voice acting. So it was all new to me. And I did have that attitude of, you know what, I'm going to represent the British community and just like say, I'm going to be doing this voice and I'm going to do British, and no matter what I do for my casting, I'm going to make that character British and I don't care. 3 months later, I'm going to put on an American accent. It's like, that fell flat on my face.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, though, because I remember when I went to go see The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, there's like 8 actors in that movie who are super British and they're putting on American accents. And it just made me laugh because when I saw it the second time, I remember thinking, these guys are all putting on convincing... I mean, obviously, Gary Oldman, that's actually my favorite actor. That's my favorite actor of all time because I do consider him the greatest ever because he's the most versatile performer I've ever seen. Like, I mean, he can do anything. And it's just funny how that's kind of become the thing now, Masako X, bro. It's like the Brits have come over here and just done Americans better than Americans.
British Benedict Cumberbatch, Doctor Strange.
I saw it.
An American accent.
Oh, you're right, dude. Yeah. So, okay. Let's talk about, you did voice acting, so you wanted to be an editor and a voice actor. We got to talk about it. How did you end up hooking up with Kaiser, the rest of the guys, for Abridged? What is the early era of Team 4 Star? Tell us about how you got involved with them, how the whole thing happened.
Well, basically, myself and an old friend, Vegeta3986, we did a parody of Naruto called Naruto Abridged. That stemmed because we did a fan dub together and we made some bloopers for it. We had plenty of bloopers for it, so that was our first example of writing some fake bloopers. So that was fun. So we then made Naruto Abridged, and we got talking with some of the other abridgers. We saw Yu Yu Hakusho Abridged, that was Lani Pator. Lupin the Third Abridged, which was Kazuneko. G Gundam Abridged, which was Takahata 101. And we all really started to get to know each other. That's the team, man. That's how the team formed, and we just were mutual fans of each other's work. And slowly became friends. And... but in 2007, because we saw someone had abridged Deep Dragon Ball Z already in 2007, with the classic thing of Nappa and Vegeta's going, "Hey Vegeta, what are you doing?" "Nothing, Nappa, just eating people." "Oh, okay."
Was that Gozar who did that?
No. That's not alternate reality Dragon Ball Z. This was just someone else.
Oh, okay.
And they just had the "just eating people." "Oh, okay." So it was very weird. So myself, Vegeta, and Lani Pator, we thought, well, we don't want to tread on their toes, so why don't we just do the movies? So we abridged Dead Zone and World's Strongest. So we abridged those back in 2007.
That was the original World's Strongest before you guys redid it.
Yeah. Gotcha. That's it. And I voiced Goku and Gohan in it, and that's where I kept the voices. And Krillin and Lani got his Krillin and Piccolo, yeah.
So did you guys just sit around and say, okay, I'm gonna be Goku, you're gonna be Vegeta? Like, how did you guys determine who's gonna do what voices? Like,
I think I just asked to be Goku.
You're
And
aiming
then
for the
because I
top,
could,
bro.
and then I could do a convincing female voice, so and kid voices, so I got Gohan for that too. I had Master Roshi. Back in the day, we didn't have enough women in acting, so we put on falsettos to do Bulma and all that kind of stuff.
I never
We
knew
didn't
that.
know we didn't know enough ladies at the time because we were young. We were young, awkward teenagers that had no social life.
Well,
Um,
it ain't just you, bro. That
but then
happened.
about like a year later, Kaiser popped the question to us all because he wanted to do a Dragon Ball Abridged, but he felt like we wouldn't want to do it. So, but then he quickly asked people. Everyone was quick to jump in on it, including myself. I got approached by Kaiser, asked whether I'd like to be Goku in it. I immediately went, yeah, yeah, yes,
Of
yeah.
course. I
But I
remember
didn't.
seeing Kaiser on the Daizenshu EX forums like 10 years ago, dude. Like, that name has been in the community for so. Same thing with Kendamu. Like, these guys have been around for so long, you know, and there they are. Now it's like we're doing a project, you know?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So it
So,
all started from there.
so, do you remember what was the first Abridged? I had somebody tell me that the first major Abridged was Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Is
That's
that
right.
that is true?
Yes.
Okay. And I just find it strange that Dragon Ball Z Abridged wasn't done earlier. Like, I know there was a different one that you're talking about, but I'm just surprised that a series so big didn't get done so much earlier.
No. That's the thing you got to understand. That this was back in the day when people started, and once like Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, Naruto Abridged, Yu Yu Hakusho Abridged, Abridged series just appeared left, right, and center.
Yes.
At times, though, I think there were like 5 Dragon Ball Z Abridged. Just because one person was doing it doesn't mean you couldn't do it.
I never even heard of these other ones, bro. Like, I
Exactly.
never.
They all fell dead on their feet because they did it for the wrong reason, and that was to be famous. They didn't do it because they wanted to do it. They did it because they thought they could get YouTube cred.
They wanted to get gigs at Funimation, things like that?
I don't know about that, but they just wanted to do it to get popular instead of doing it because they loved it.
Well, because the mind fuck with me about Abridged every time I watch it is that you guys actually go in and edit the mouth flaps, which a lot of people who do, like, again, like, I guess lesser worked or whatever, quicker Abridged series, they don't take time to do that. You actually go in and make. I know it's painstakingly. I know it could take a while to do these, you know, the mouth flaps to make it like more, I guess, organic is the right word? I don't know.
Well, you say that, but when we first started doing the season 1 of DBZA, our mouth flaps were a lot more loose. But it's over time we developed a technique, and Kaiser's continued to hone it, and we've pretty much got it down so we can make it look authentic, but also more accurate than it was before.
It's almost impossible to spot, but there's people out there who are such like. I guess they have that photographic memory, and they're like, "Yeah, that's a DBZ Abridged edit," because you can just tell, like, it looks on the outside similar, but there's always something different. So, can you take us through, like, I guess the average, or kind of the creative process here? I'm curious because you guys have the arcs. You know, you already have knowledge of what's going to happen, the Cell arc, the Frieza saga, all that stuff. So, do you guys just kind of sit around and just come up with jokes? Do you, because I'm trying to figure out, like, how does that creative process work? Do you, like, have jokes that you're going to save for later based on key scenes? Are there, like, I do picture, like, Kaiser having, and you as well, everybody having, like, a folder with just tons and tons of just shared data. Like, is that kind of how it is?
Well, I'll be honest here that I'm not part of the writing process. It's between Kaiser, Lanny, and Taka. They get together on Skype and look through the episodes that are going to be relevant to that particular DBZA episode. They watch it 2 or 3 times. They write notes. They come up with some jokes. They fettle it down with a couple of drafts. And when they got a draft that they're happy with, they then contact all the relevant actors that are going to be in that episode, including myself, and schedule times to record over Skype. Scott is our director. He is our director for DBZA, and we have a Skype call, and we go over the lines, and he directs us like you would do in the booth. As in, it's all authentic. It's all like it would be at Funimation or wherever.
Except that you're across the pond, right?
Yeah, exactly. But the process is still the same. And so that gets done. I send in my lines, as do all the other actors and actresses. And then it's up to Kaiser to edit it. And a whole thing from start to finish could take up to 100 hours per episode.
It took a month in some cases. Like, oh my God. Like, So, okay. So you don't receive a script and you just... Because I think a lot of people... And I...
Oh, I do get a script. I do get a script before recording.
But
so
you
I
don't
can
just
read it if I want to.
But you don't just record it on your own time. You actually have Kaiser with you, like telling you how to say it. Because, because I think a lot of people, I certainly did not think this, but I've heard from others that they think that you guys just do your individual lines with like 4 or 5 takes, and then Kaiser takes the best ones and puts them in. But no, you're saying he's actually hands on with like you said, like Okratron, like he's right there saying, say this like this, say that like that type thing.
Yeah, he has an idea about what he wants because he's the one that writes for Goku. So, and most of the jokes that are Goku's jokes come from Kaiser. So he's hands-on straight away. He knows what he wants. So he's able to just give me like, yeah, could you just try it with this kind of inflection? Or I'm not quite sure about that take. Could you just try that again? Or if he likes it, he'll just go, perfect, nice, like that.
Cracking
and
that
then we move on to the next one. No, that's what you got. That's what you want to be. If you want to be a good director, you have to know what you want.
Yeah, no, I respect.
He knows what he wants.
I respect that tremendously. And hey, he's already doing some gigs for video games and for Dragon Ball, Resurrection F. So I mean, you got to start somewhere. I tell everybody this, if you're out there right now, and I always try to send this message, and you want to like one day be on an anime or be on, be an ADR director, there's a journey. There's a process. You start here, you go to A, B, C, D, and you might make it, man. You just can't quit. I tell everybody, don't give up on your dreams, man, because, obviously you don't want to sacrifice your well-being and things like that for your dream, but you have to, I feel like, I don't know how you feel about this, man, but I feel like every success story comes with a little bit of pain. And what I mean by that is, Kaiser and all these guys, you got to sit there and edit the abridged episode, and it takes time, and sometimes you just don't want to do it. Like, sometimes you just want to just romp and play and just do something else, but you got to grind because of the love of the craft, but sometimes, some days, you just don't feel like it, and I tell people you got to have that drive, because you never know. Like, you never know who's watching. You never know who might call you up one day and say, hey, Lawrence, we got a gig for you here at Disney. And you're like, whoa! Like, you never know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We don't take for granted what we do. And we do this because we love to do it. And all that's happened, it's been a mixture of sheer hard work and dumb luck.
Well, I mean, it's also been a lot of talent, bro. I know you and the rest of the bunch. I've only talked to you and Kaiser, but I know you guys are very modest. But it does take a lot of talent. I mean, not everybody could pull this off. It really is, it does take talent. Now, how did you end up segueing? You're doing Team Four Star. Well, actually, hold on. Let me not go there yet. Let me ask you something else. So you're doing the abridged thing. When did you know that this thing was a huge success? Because Team 4 Star's primary channel is the biggest Dragon Ball channel on YouTube, bar none. When did you know that this thing was like, okay, people are watching this? Like people at Funimation are watching us.
Subscribers at episode 2.
I'm sorry, say it again?
When we got 100,000 subscribers after episode 2.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's
because
crazy.
We pulled in all our fans. Everybody knew. And then on top of we were doing DBZ, Dragon Ball Z. But when it really started to hit home is when we got our first invite to a con, YomaCon, which is going on right now, actually. 2009, we got an invite to that convention in Michigan, and that was a validation that we had garnered enough interest that people had requested for us to be at a convention to meet us. And that is basically the fans have spoken. and they won us. And that was actually the first time we ever met in person.
That's it was weird, but it's like comforting. Like when you meet somebody like that who you work with for a while, and it's like
It makes it all real.
yeah, like it makes it real, and it's like you were just a voice to me, and now I can touch you and feel you and hug you, and it's obviously in appropriate places, and it's a good time. So when did you guys? And if you can't answer this, it's cool, but I think you can. When did you guys first catch wind that people at Funimation were watching you?
Well, it's hard to really say, really. I think maybe when people started asking the cast members, "Have you seen Dragon Ball Z Abridged?" And then I think Sabat was like one of the first and more vocal supporters in that, thinking, "Oh, these guys are really talented, and these are really great." And I was actually the first person to meet Sabat in person, as in I think we talked to Sabat before, or we'd heard something about it on his Twitter. But I went to a convention in London in 2010, and Sabat was a guest at it. And I actually I came up to him, found his booth, and I just got talking with him. And he was like, and I told him who I was. He went, "Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome. Can I have your autograph?"
He's such a surfer, bro.
No, he's totally chill. He's a totally chill guy. It's like he was just asking me, "Can I have your autograph?" And it's like, wow. And then we just and then later we just went to get a drink. He had a break. We just got chatting for a little bit, and it was just nothing really happened. It was just mainly a chat, but it was great to actually meet him. And I've met him a few times, and it's always been really good. It's always great to talk to the Sabatron.
Always, it's always a pleasure. So how did you segue into starting the Masako X channel? Because on the Masako X channel, it's you. It's all you. It's you playing video games. It's you doing bad fan fiction theater. It's you doing discussions on Dragon Ball. It's all just you. Like, was it one of those things where you just were like, you know what, I want to kind of get my own channel just to kind of have it be all me? Like when did you decide to do that?
Well, I had that channel since 2007, and because I had an original channel on YouTube, which was just Masako X, but uploading Naruto Abridged, and that was back in 2007 when I had 17,000 subscribers. That was a lot.
That's a lot for 2007, dude.
But then our channel got hit by copyright strikes, so then I set up a new one, and then my pal Vegeta created his channel, and he put the Naruto episodes up there, and then I had my channel, and that had like odd little videos here and there, and I just put some random stuff up there and then I started making a bit more videos when I had a bit more time around 2014. Like every now and again I would make a little karaoke song or a little voice acting thing. But then I started to really take it seriously around 2014 with bad fan fiction, and then I make some more videos, and then really last year is when I started to really take it seriously, and my subscribers started to really go up quite a lot quicker than it had done. And I think over the course of this year, it's just been when I've really started to really hit the grindstone and just put stuff out there, make the time to make stuff when I'm not doing stuff for DBZA and Team 4 Star.
Yeah, it's like I tell people, like when people ask me about your channel, I say, it's almost like you've got the Beatles, and of course that's from your neck of the woods. You got the Beatles, and then you've got like Paul McCartney and Wings, and that's great stuff too. So that's kind of the way I had always kind of compared it. So
well, funny you should say that actually, but some people have likened us to the Beatles, as in they say that Tarka's like John Lennon, Lanny's like Paul McCartney, Scott's like George Harrison, and I'm Ringo.
Oh, they gave you Ringo?
Ringo's the best one.
I like Ringo, but it's just
Ringo. Yeah, Ringo's the quiet one. But he's the most successful.
Well, he sang With Little Help from My Friends, and that's one of my favorite songs of all time. So he deserves credit for that.
And don't forget, he was the voice of Thomas the Tank Engine for the first couple of series.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Well, I mean, Paul was always like the centerpiece, but Ringo, I love the Beatles. So, okay. What are your goals, man? Obviously, okay, when we talk about the team here, Team 4-Star, you've got so many more episodes left to do. Obviously, Super is something that Dragon Ball Super Abridged, I mean, that's who even knows when that's going to happen because you've got so much left in Z and GT and Dragon Ball and whatever else you decide to do. So you could be doing this for the next 15 years for all we know. What are some of your like long-term goals in the future? Like, what do you want to edit? Like, now, are you happy with the way things are now? Do you want to edit a movie for Hollywood? Like, what do you really like want to do?
What I want to be able to have to do is, by the time all of us are in our 60s and 70s, still going to conventions, still meeting up all the time. We're all grey, we're old, but we're still talking about Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and we are still fielding questions and still being together. Because I guessed at a convention last year, and all the extra people that played Star Wars extras, they all know each other. And it's great to see. They're all in their 70s, and they're all still close. They still keep in touch. They're all so close. And it's like, you know what? I just want to keep doing what I'm doing. So that means, one, I'm old. We're all still friends, and we're all still getting together and doing crazy panels. That'd be amazing. That's what I want.
I mean, that's just so okay. Hypothetically speaking, and then we're going to hit you with a hypothetical here. If you got an offer to edit something massive, let's say a TV series, okay? Would I'm presuming you're still gonna do Abridged forever because that's kind of your home.
Well, if I got an offer to do a TV series edit, I probably decline it.
That's crazy, man. So this is pretty much your thing forever now. This is like your true passion, I suppose. I don't even know how to even describe it.
Ideally, I would want Team 4-Star to stay the distance, keep the course. We evolved from just editing parodies to being a full-on entertainment company. That's what we're doing right now.
Yes.
That's what the transition's been doing. This year has been a year of infrastructure. And basically, we want this to be a full-on entertainment house where we produce stuff, we dub stuff, we
animate,
create stuff. Who knows? But we would like to be a full-on company that makes productions of any kind.
Then you go public and just retire on an island.
Oh well, right. I don't think we'd do that because I've only just turned 30. I've still got like 40, 50 years to go. So I wouldn't want to retire in my 30s. That'd be way too boring.
That's true. It would be. I mean, it would almost be like you'd be retiring, but you'd still be doing a bridge just for fun. It's like it's not really a retirement. It's more so just living the dream because you get to play as Goku, and it's. I can't imagine how much fun it is just to do this all the time, man. So many people I know look up to you, and everybody just wanting to kind of do that one day, and tell everybody, man, just keep grinding, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You got to keep doing this. You got to keep going. It may be a struggle, but if you put the right application to it and show enough passion, people will spot it. People will recognize effort and reward you.
Before we get out of here, a couple of quick kind of get to know Masako X questions here. Favorite food?
Red Thai chicken curry.
Really?
Yes, I love Thai food.
I love Thai food, bro. Pad Thai is my shit.
Pad Thai is always very good.
Oh man.
Although honestly, there's not many foods that I dislike, really.
No, I agree with you. I don't like the super spicy stuff, and some Thai food is super spicy, but if it's cooked just right, you know.
Oh, I'm all about spice.
Are you? Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm a spice fiend, and that's the thing, really. So basically, whenever it says, "Oh, hey, Masako, where do you want to get food?" I'm like, I don't mind. That's not me being difficult. I genuinely don't mind.
Anything, pizza, Chinese, whatever.
I think probably I'd either find something on the menu or I go, oh yeah, sure. I'm easygoing like that.
I'm the same way. Now, other than Dragon Ball, favorite anime favorite anime and favorite TV show.
Favorite TV show probably right now is Doctor Who. Doctor Who's always good. And favorite anime is Martian Successor Nadesco. 1996. It was a spoof on the mecha genre at a time when mecha anime was in the doldrums.
Hail Zeon's probably doing backflips right now hearing you say that. I'll tell you that much. So, all right. Funniest, or how about this one? Biggest compliment you've ever gotten from a Team 4-Star, I guess. I don't like using the word fan, but I guess it is a fan, like supporter or viewer or, you know, whatever.
Probably,
most memorable, yeah.
Yeah, probably, like, it was at a talent show at a convention, and a girl who went on to win the contest was doing her acceptance speech of the award, and she was just talking about all of these people, and she went on to talk about an abridger, and I didn't think she was talking about me. And she was saying how much of an impact that this person made, and how I don't know how I make it without that person's support or looking up to them for inspiration. And she just went, Masako, could you come up on the stage, please?
And you were like, me?
I was holding back tears. Like, I didn't, because I just went like, who, me? As in, I didn't think it'd be me. So I was just holding back the tears, and yeah, that stuck with me for a very long time. And then another odd one was in 2008. This was just when it was all brand new, and a girl came up to me and said, "I don't like what you do," and then she just basically kissed me.
That's strange.
Yes, that is strange. And yeah, she just kissed me and then just walked off. I personally think she did that as a dare.
I don't like what you do. Now, did she kiss you on the lips or on the cheek? Or?
On the lips. On the lips. That scarred me.
I don't like what you do, but I think you're hot. Is that kind of what she was trying to say?
No. It wouldn't have been that. She probably did that as a dare.
It's almost like she was kissing you so you wouldn't cuss her out. I don't know.
Honestly, whenever people do say I don't like your stuff in person, I'm almost more impressed that they actually told me.
They have the balls. I kind of respect that.
I just go, all right, fair enough. I mean, can't win them all.
You can't win them all. No, I agree with you. Hell, there's some people who do this professionally you can't even win over in some cases. You know, who knows?
Honestly, most modern celebrities, they are so pathetic when it comes to, someone was mean to me over Twitter. But I'm like, oh, please.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, sometimes, I guess it depends on what kind of mood you're in, bro. Because sometimes you'll be chilling and you'll be in a good mood, or you'll wake up like, it's like I've had days where I wake up with like a toothache, or I don't feel well, and I go on Twitter and I see somebody saying something bad about me. It can be demoralizing, but sometimes you just got to move past it. You know? And that's why I try to tell people, like, I try to tell my subscribers at least, say something nice about a YouTuber. If you don't like if you don't like a certain YouTuber, don't disrespect that one. Instead, tell another YouTuber who you do like something nice, because then we're working with something constructive,
And you know what? I think the one thing I would say to anyone that wants to be a YouTuber, stay away from drama. Just stay away from it. You think it might get you views, you think it might get you subscribers, but what it will get you is enemies.
It's scummy.
And you don't want that. You do not want that. And anyone that gets involved in that kind of thing loses my respect, because it will mean that you're just taking the easy way out. And there are far too many disrespectful and mean people in this world. Just be kind to one another, Just that, it doesn't take that much, really.
No, I agree, man. The anonymity, I can never say this word.
The anonymity.
Anonymity.
Don't worry, it's one of those words that you kind of go, did I say that right?
You did. I didn't know.
No. I'm saying that's one of those words. It makes one go, did I say that right?
Anonymity.
That's it.
Yeah, of the web is annoying. Who knows? But all right. Before we get out of here, one last question. Well, a couple more questions. But I wanted to ask you. do you watch football? And I don't mean American football. I mean the real football.
Like what, soccer?
Yeah, pretty much.
No.
Really? Wow.
No.
Do you watch any sports?
I'm more of a car guy, really.
You mean like
I
racing?
Yeah, I'm more of like, auto sports. Yeah, I'm more down into that. In fact, before all this began, I was really big in the online racing circuit. Like, I drove and I would like play online racing when it was new, and I was actually pretty good. And we almost made it into an esports team back when esports was weird in 2005. That was fun. I miss those days. But that's why racing games are my jam, and I'm usually really good at them.
Mario Kart, even Mario Kart, bro.
No. This was hardcore sim racing.
Yeah, you're talking about like Formula One stuff. I understand. Yeah, like the real.
And and Gran Turismo and all the Jeff Crammond Grand Prix series.
The simulator stuff, right?
Simulator stuff. That's right.
Do you have
as well as Mario Kart.
Do you have like the big steering wheel and everything like, at your desk and everything? Yeah. Have you ever thought about doing some legitimate street racing?
Oh, I've done track days. Track days in like sports cars. I drove a Ferrari 458 a few weeks ago.
Oh man, seriously?
They're so good. They are so much fun.
Is it true you just tap the pedal and you're going 60?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just tap. You're like, whoa! Like, wait a minute.
And it's the convertible version.
Oh man, I envy you right now, bro. Cause have you ever been on the Autobahn?
No, but I know about it.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Terrifying.
Right. Well, thank you as always for being here. It was such a pleasure to talk to you, and hopefully I got to know you better. The people got to know you better, and obviously, folks, I don't have to tell you this. Team 4 Star's channel, Masako X, his channel. Subscribe to both if you haven't. I highly doubt that you haven't. I really, really do. But still, I'm going to put the word out there. Is there anything else you want to tell me or the people? Anything else on your mind before we close out?
Not really. We pretty much covered everything I wanted to cover, really. So, yeah. It's been good.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being here. And thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll talk to you guys down the road.
Later.